I change clothes like my hoes. I love designer, and I change my flows like who knows. I want the commas, many Hondas.
There's been a lot of talk about Black Clover, the Sword of the Wizard King, and how it's brought Black Clover back to the forefront of the anime world. Apparently, it's making Black Clover buzz again on the anime scene, and everyone's heavily excited for the Spade Kingdom arc. And quite frankly, I must agree. But let's get into some minute details on why the little twinks worked and made Black Clover movie so great and has really raised a lot of morale and anticipation for the upcoming season. I would say the most important node for this movie would be the timing. With most anime movies, it's important to dance the dance, if you will. And by this, I mean the timing of the movie should be somewhere around the canon, but with enough speculation to give the fans, just room to imagine, because the fans are going to have their own speculations on what happened, and the author normally never says anything. Like most of the Dragon Ball Z movies, you can never really get the timing perfectly right. It's kind of the same with Black Clover in this instance, because if we see certain characters like Notch at the end of the movie, he offers Asta some of his power. However, we know if Asta met Notch, this has to be somewhere around the Spade Kingdom arc, as well as the fact that Asta has the ability to fly with his sword and also use all of his 3 swords pretty well. So that would make us assume that he's trained for the Spade Kingdom arc. However, they never mention the devils at all. Just very interesting how they do that. And we know, spoiler ahead, that if Yami's still around and some of the captains, then it can't be at the end of the Spade Kingdom arc. So I'd venture to say that somewhere around that 6-month time skip where Asta gets all big and muscular, but he also trains and is able to control his abilities a little bit better. So let's say it's around the time when all of the Black Bulls are training with the Spirit Guardians. Another staple of this movie is the villain. Conrad, the 27th Wizard King, is a very powerful, very interesting villain. The best villains, in my opinion, are the villains that believe that they're doing the most good. As you see with Madara or Obito, they were villains who weren't really evil, but they just had a sick and twisted notion of good. So villains like that are very powerful. And basically, Conrad is like the version of Asta if Asta were to become evil, because they both have the same magic, which is never giving up. I found that very interesting. I think he's just a very well-written character. Maybe the other Wizard Kings, not really. I did like Princia because of her battle with Mero Leona. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's so hard to say their name. But basically the sister of Captain Fuegoleon. That battle between her and the other Wizard King was pretty fire, but the other 2 Wizard Kings didn't really stand out to me that much. The third staple of this movie are the graphics. I have to say, shout out to Studio Period, because apparently they animate a lot of movies, namely the Naruto movies, and they are just known for doing very well. So bravo to them. The animations were really good. Namely the fights of when Yuno and Asta teamed up against Conrad. Those graphics went crazy. And then just Mario Leona against Princia was just incredible and insane. And honestly, it finally gave us a gauge of how powerful that she truly is, because this is getting me to my point that I have to say that she is probably the strongest Magic Knight in the Clover Kingdom. I mean, she's technically not a Magic Knight because she doesn't belong to any team or any squad, but she is the strongest Magic Knight, bar maybe Julius Novachrono. Other than that, the Wizard King before his pre-elf, before he was turned into a kid, I do say that the older sister of the Crimson Lions is probably the strongest Magic Knight. Side note, there is a point where the older sister, I'm just gonna call her that because saying her name is just too hard for me, guys, but she does mention a rival with Princia. I'm not sure if she's talking about her brother Fuegoleon or if she might have another rival, because I don't really see Fuegoleon as being anywhere near her level. He's more on the level of like Nozel and the other captains, and then I would put Captain Yami a tad bit stronger, because let's face it, guys, plot armor aside, obviously Captain Yami has a lot of plot armor, but I think he's actually the strongest captain. Him and William Vengeance I put on the same tier, and then the other captains are a little bit under, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. And last but not least, before we get to the final point that I wanted to make about the movie that really brings it to the forefront and has revitalized the whole franchise, just make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, guys, if you made it this far, and I want to thank you guys all for watching. But the final point would be that the way the movie ended, nice and cliche, just how we like it, not straying from the norm too much. It ended with a nice, powerful special attack. And not just any special attack. It was a special attack powered by all of Asta's friends. How heartwarming. But as funny as that might sound, seriously, most of these special attacks either end with the character, 1A, utilizing a weapon or tool that was created for the purpose of the whole movie, and the character utilizing in his own power, which is what Asta did with the Imperial Sword, or the character character getting power from his friends and family to beat the villain or the boss. Example, Goku getting power from the whole planet to use a spirit bomb, or Naruto getting power from his friends and some chakra to end the villain off. It's just very cliche, but that's a good way to end the movie. Ended off pretty good. It didn't stray from any norms. No one died, no one was killed off. They didn't bring any random characters to then get killed off at the end. It was pretty good standard movie. It checked off all the boxes while doing everything correctly. Alright guys, thank you for watching to the end. I finally finished Black Clover, so now I can start rolling out that Black Clover content. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend, because we're gonna get the Black Clover content going. We got a video about Zoro against Yami, so if you like One Piece and Black Clover, I urge you to check that out, and I urge you to just continue watching and looking out for the next content that comes out. If you want me to review anything else, be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you think. And before we go, remember to, as always, find your zen, your final form. I'll see you next time, guys.
And I change clothes like my hoes. I love designer, and I change my flows like who knows. I want the commas, Benny Hannes.